There you go, Mike.
Okay.
You feel that, you feel that. Also, all right.
I'll let Mike sit down.
I was just saying, private implementation, we have a full board for governance. So if you want to expedite right to discussion, or do you want me to read the project description? I'll defer to you on that. If you want to hear that.
I'd like to call to order this meeting of the Boone County Industrial Development Agency of October 18, 2023. And looking for an approval of the, or receipt of the minutes of our September 20th, 2023 board meeting. Thank you, Dan. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Peter. Any discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Moving onward, we come to the part of our agenda where you have our public comment session. Anybody wishing to speak on any matter concerning the IDA, please feel free, state your name and address for the record, and please limit your comments to 5 minutes. I don't see anybody raising their hand. We will move on to executive director's report. Stacy, updates, please.
Sure, just a few updates, a couple project updates. Good news on the completion of the Victory Lofts apartment project in the village of Johnson City. Victory Lofts, as I've learned from Policy Development, is planning a grand opening event sometime at the beginning of November. Please tentatively hold November 2nd at 10:30, but I believe invitations will be sent out electronically. We're thrilled to see the completion of that project. And I hear so far it is at or near full occupancy as far as leasing. Leasing is going quite well. Another project update, the Green Mountain Electrical Supply, or GMS Inc. That project we closed with the new owner of the former Canopy Growth building. They have paid the agency fees of approximately $182,000. Those will not show until the October financials. We will also, it's that time of year, hard to believe, we're nearing, as we near the last quarter, we start to send out our employment verification forms to all current pilot, sales tax, and loan clients, roughly around the beginning of November. Just to note, this is the required compliance item of our clients and is also required for our Paris reporting next year. So those will be going out. And it is at the moment that we can also check in and verify that they're meeting their employment numbers. And just a couple of regional economic development updates. I participated yesterday. I was invited to a regional leaders roundtable at Binghamton University with representatives from the university, of course, Cornell, Empire State Development, Raymond Corporation, NYSERDA, and Senator Schumer's office. As you may have read, this is related to BU's role as a semifinalist for the NSF Engines program. That would be, if successful, could award more than $150 million to the coalition for the development of a regional energy storage ecosystem. So one of the goals is to identify what local companies, especially manufacturers, can benefit from a successful award there. There were about 12 representatives from the NSF that we did a roundtable Q&A with that group. We're also serving as the lead economic development organization for the university's application as a regional tech hub. This is a hub designation, doesn't do more than designate the area as a regional tech hub with specifically electronics and energy storage manufacturing. But without that, but it also opens up more funding opportunities if you do have the designation. We were asked by the university to serve as the regional economic development lead for that. So I'm working with my peers on that. And Monday, I will be participating in our state association and the New York State Workforce Association on a panel related to building professional development programs for staff. That is our annual economic and workforce development conference up in Syracuse. And in November, I will be part of a New York State coalition to attend the Semiconductor Industry Association, or SIA, event in San Jose, California from November 16th to 18th. So I know. Good time to be out there. So, I don't believe I have any updates on the financials, but I would be happy to take any questions.
Any questions for Stacy on her report or the internal financial report through September 30th? Thank you, Stacy. Moving on with any questions for Natalie on the loan activity reports as of September 30th. Moving onward to new business resolution. I'll read the resolution and then we'll ask the floor if they'd like you to vote for each and every facet of the project in question. Resolution authorizing a leaseback transaction to facilitate the construction, renovation, and equipping of the properties and buildings located at 200 Court Street, 38 Fayette Street, 34 Stuyvesant Street, and 25 Rutherford Street in the city of Binghamton, Broome County, New York, to be used as a single 4-story apartment building, including the basement, with 111 units consisting of 23 studio apartments, 71 bedroom apartments, and 18 2-bedroom apartments, 2 elevators serving all 4 floors, a common area, office space, an unfinished basement, conference room area, a lobby, reception area, a community room and fitness center with lounges, laundry facilities, and trash rooms on each floor, and appointing 200 Court Street Apartments Housing Development Fund Corporation, the company, agent of the agency for the purpose of constructing, renovating, and equipping the project, and authorizing the execution and delivery of certain documents with respect thereto, including a real property tax exemption in an amount not to exceed $1,020,982 pursuant to a payment in lieu of tax agreement. Does anybody want Stacy to go through? We've seen this now a couple of times. Does anybody want Stacy to go?
If it was Lent, I would say yes.
Now, it's almost Advent, so it was in governance, and I believe it came out of governance,
Yeah,
Mayor.
we move it forward with a motion to approve.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Elaine. Any discussion or further questions for the representatives? of
I
this
apologize
project?
ahead of time. I do have one more question. I know I'm already just 100 questions on this.
What's the time?
Larry?
Whitney.
Whitney, sorry.
Yep, he's
Whitney. Do any of your other projects have such a high concentration of supportive units?
Yes, every single project we do has close to 50% of supportive housing. And you actually can't go over 50% in these projects, but yeah, pretty much that's our motto, is that we try to hit that exact 50% mark for supportive housing units out of the total.
Yeah, what are the rules that HCR have regarding percentages of certain populations or percentages of supportive units?
There's a law called the Olmstead Act,
20%.
and so you can't go over 50%. So, in this building, we are, right. The other nuance is veterans don't count as Olmstead. So that's why we're actually over 50% with supportive, but the veteran units don't count as special needs populations for that count. But yeah, typically all of our projects, we go 50 and a little bit over. So in Rochester, we're doing 164 units and we have 95 supportive units. And we're able to go over that because some of those units are veterans.
I don't know why I thought it was 20%. Is there, does that ring a bell to you? Does that apply in some cases?
Go ahead, Whitney.
Sorry, maybe it's a minimum of 20%, but yeah, I'm not aware of the 20%.
I was gonna say the only sort of standard bearer for 20% was historically to be considered for any of the low income housing tax credits, not the supportive housing financing. That it used to be a minimum of 20% through HCR had to be. And I think they've actually elevated that to 40%, and they've dropped the AMI down to 60% versus 80. It used to be 20% of your units available to 80% of AMI to be considered for a LIHTC deal, but I think they've shifted that to expand access.
Yeah, I guess I don't understand that rules. We were subject for Canal Plaza, we were subject to a cap of 20%. And I'll just say that, I support this project and I'm gonna vote yes on it. But, at the same time, I'm going into this with a great deal of trepidation. I'm concerned about it. I wouldn't be as concerned if it wasn't right smack in the middle of downtown Binghamton, but, you know, I'm still gonna vote yes, but I am worried about it.
Thank you, Elaine. Any other questions? Let's have a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Carried. Item number 7, resolution authorizing a leaseback transaction to facilitate the construction and equipping of 3.96 plus or minus acres of land located at 333 Grand Avenue in the Village of Johnson City, County of Broome and State of New York, and a 0.16 plus or minus acre of land located at 154 Allen Street in the Village of Johnson City, County of Broome and State of New York, to be used as a single 4-story elevator building with 72 dwelling units, including 27 one-bedroom apartments, 42 bedroom apartments, and 4 3-bedroom apartments, and a 2-bedroom apartment for a live-in building superintendent, commercial space for a children's daycare, laundry facilities, a community room with a kitchen, a management office, storage, a playground, and a parking lot, and appointing Regan Development Corp. Or an entity to be later named the company agent of the agency for the purpose of constructing and equipping the project and authorizing the execution and delivery of certain documents with respect thereto, including a sales and use tax exemption agreement in an amount not to exceed $955,000, a mortgage tax exemption in an amount not to exceed $209,000, and a property tax exemption in an amount not to exceed $1,698,715 pursuant to a payment in lieu of tax agreement. Once again, I will not ask Stacy to go through the details as we've heard pretty much all of them to this point, and I'll look to the mayor for a motion.
Yeah, governance moves it forward as a motion to approve.
Is there a second? Thank you, Mike. Let's have a discussion. Anybody have any further questions for Mr. Regan or Mr. Regan? Both of them are on the phone, I believe. Or comments?
I'll just to comment, I love it that you're redeveloping a brownfield. We need more of that.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments?
Phil will talk to you single. What was there before?
Maybe factory of some sort.
Missed that.
Let's have a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? I am abstaining from this. Thank you. Moving
Thank you.
onward.
Board.
Thank you, Larry. Moving onward, I'm going to rotate and put item 9 ahead of item 8. If you don't mind, and I'm going to look to our treasurer relative to the resolution to approve the 2024 IDA operational budget. Dan?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This does come forward from the committee in the form of the motion to approve.
Thank you, Mr. Treasurer. Is there a second?
I second.
Thank you, Peter. Any discussion or questions for Stacy or Dan relative to this topic? Looking for a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Carried, budget approved. Okay, looking for a motion to go into executive session. Thank you, Dan. Is there a second? Thanks, Jim. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Before you pause, the executive session relates to both the purchase of property by the IDA and also potential sale of IDA owned property.
Thank you for the clarification.